book lovers, it is G-Swiss here, and I'm here today to talk about the holiday romances that just so happen to be on my TBR. If you didn't know, this is a 7 on Sunday topic, and I'm the host of 7 on Sunday. I will link the Goodreads page down in the description where you can check it out, and you can participate in a topic in the future, or you can suggest a topic. And yes, I am aware that I did put some of these books on my November TBR, and this video might be going up later in November, but as I'm filming this video right now, I have not yet read any of these books, so I can't say anything about them at the moment. Who knows, maybe by the time this video goes up, I will have read like 1 or 2 of them, but I did put some of them on my November TBR, and I am planning to read some in the near future, but if I don't get to them this year, I do plan on getting to them sometime next year as well. I'm very much looking forward to talking about these books and why I want to read them, so I guess without further ado, let's get straight into this holiday romance TBR video, and let's gush about holiday romances that I'm excited to read. I'm gonna start off with the books that I don't own physically, and the first book that I have to mention is The Mistletoe Motive by Chloe Leese. Chloe Leese is currently one of my favorite romance contemporary authors. I am absolutely obsessed with the Bergman Brothers series by Chloe Leese. As I'm filming this video, I still have not yet read Two Wrongs Make a Right, but I really want to read that book and the series. I believe it's like a sisters series, kind of like how the Bergman Brothers is called the Bergman Brothers, except there are 2 sisters that we follow in the Bergman Brothers family. So I will pretty much read anything that Chloe Leese puts out. I am absolutely obsessed with the 6 books that are currently out in the Bergman Brothers series, and I just need everyone to read them, but I still have not yet read anything outside of that series, so I do need to get to Two Wrongs Make a Right, but then I also see every single time I go online shopping that The Mistletoe Motive is another book by Chloe Leese, and it just so happens to be a holiday romance, and I'm always intrigued by its cover, but now I'm even more intrigued because this year I finally got into Chloe Leese's works, so I'm looking forward to getting to this one eventually. I believe that this one is only like a 200-page book, so it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. It very much gives me Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey vibes. I think because it's a holiday novella, it's a contemporary romance. Honestly, I didn't even look into the synopsis. At this point, I don't really care. If it's written by Chloe Leese, I'm gonna read it. Chloe Leese was the biggest selling point for me. So I am definitely looking forward to reading The Mistletoe Motive eventually, and I hope I love it just as much as I love every other book that I've read by Chloe Leese so far. And the next holiday romance that I've put on my TBR that I know nothing about and I don't even own it yet is a book that is just like really hyped that I just decided I want to read. And that, my friends, is 'Tis the Season for Revenge. Based on the title, it's giving me some Home Alone vibes, but I also hear that this is a very spicy / steamy holiday rom-com as well. I honestly just keep seeing this book do numbers on Amazon, and every single time I look at The Mistletoe Motive and I am motivated to purchase The Mistletoe Motive, 'Tis the Season for Revenge is usually marketed alongside the book. Like, you know how sometimes when you're on Amazon and they do those purchase combos where it's like, if you get this, you get this also for that price and it equals this price. I'm often seeing 'Tis the Season for Revenge and The Mistletoe Motive together on those combos. So that is how I heard about this book. However, as of recently, I've been seeing so much hype for this one, specifically in the Bookstagram community, and I'm starting to see this book everywhere. So I do want to read it. I just want to know what the hype is about. I am wondering whether or not it's like one of the best holiday rom-coms, and that's why everybody loves it so much. We will see. But yeah, I don't really have much more explanation other than that, but I do like the title as well. I think that the title really does intrigue me because I like a good revenge plot. The next book that I've put on my TBR is A Court of Sugar and Spice. This one, I believe, unlike the other ones that I've mentioned, is more a fantasy type of book. And the first book in the series specifically is a Nutcracker reimagining. The other books in the series I don't believe are holiday themed whatsoever, but I do want to read this one because I'm hearing that it's pretty hot, but also the cover intrigued me. Like, as soon as I saw the cover, I was like, oh my goodness, that looks sweet, and I need that sweetness in my life, and it's the Nutcracker. I mean, look, the Nutcracker was not really a selling point only because the only interpretation I've seen of the Nutcracker previously was the Barbie Nutcracker movie, but the cover was enough to sell me on it initially, and then I've seen a few reviews, and I hear that it's really spicy. I'm looking forward to reading this one eventually. We will see how I go. Out of all the books on this TBR, I think I'm the most excited to get to this one purely because of the fantasy aspects. The next book that I put on my holiday romance TBR is The Holiday Swap. I actually attempted to listen to this one on audiobook sometime last year, and I wasn't feeling it at the time, and I just really hope that was because I wasn't in the mood. I was actually really stressed over work conference prep at the time, so I technically put this book down in audio form. I don't actually have the physical copy, and I hope that I enjoy it the second time round. I also kind of struggle with cooking show premises. Honestly, I do like the idea of them, but I struggle to read about them. I mean, I did enjoy Chef's Kiss, but I did struggle with, what was that one? The Battle Royal? Yeah, I really struggle with Battle Royal. And with this one, even though we are following, I believe, two twins in this story, and there are two separate storylines, the cooking aspects just didn't really grab me. They didn't really intrigue me. I personally usually love watching shows or movies about cooking competitions. This one, I'm just more wanting to give a second chance because I've heard that The Holiday Swap is really good. I've heard great things about this one ever since it came out. So yeah, I do want to read The Holiday Swap eventually. I just don't know whether or not I would read it this year, but we will see. I do have it in my Audible library, so fingers crossed I get to it sometime, but if it's not this year, then eventually. And the last out of the holiday themed rom-coms that I don't currently own physically, as I'm filming this video, because I do plan on getting this book sometime by the end of the year because I want to read it by the end of the year, is A Holly Jolly Ever After by Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone. This is the companion sequel to A Merry Little Meet Cute, which I really enjoyed. A Merry Little Meet Cute is probably my favorite holiday rom-com of all time at the moment. And additionally, I recently read No Place Like LA, which also takes place within the same circles and is a little cute romance novella. So at the moment, I'm currently ready to get back and to surround these characters again, to get back into this world and into Julie Murphy's and Sierra Simone's writing, because oh my goodness, they are a match made in heaven in my personal opinion. They are definitely one of my favorite writing duos. After reading A Merry Little Meet Cute and No Place Like LA, I will never underestimate them again. Oh my goodness, they're so funny together, and they're also very saucy together. I really appreciate their writing combo. I personally don't know much about the premise of this book, but any book written by this duo, I will read 100%, hands down, especially if it's a companion sequel to A Merry Little Meet Cute. I'm just looking forward to getting back into these circles. I am looking forward to the references that we are going to experience in this book from the events of book one, and I'm just ready for the comedy. Can't wait to share my thoughts about this one. I hope to get to this one by the end of the year. This one is definitely on my priority list. Now going into the books that I currently physically own on my TBR, starting off with Talk Santa to Me by Linda Urban. I saw this cover and I immediately knew that I needed to read it. It needed to be mine. But this, I believe, is a young adult rom-com. I don't mind young adult holiday themed stories. I did read Love in Winter Wonderland last year, so I seriously hope I enjoy Talk Santa to Me. I saw this cover and I knew that I had to read it. Look at how cute they are. They're so gorgeous. And it's also not too long either. I believe that this is gonna be like a 300-page book. No, it's under 300 pages. It's 277 pages. This is gonna be a really quick read. I want to get to it maybe sometime this year. If not, it's doable sometime next year. It's doable, period, because of its length. It's very short. So I hope to get to this one eventually. And yeah, I kind of do want to read some young adult contemporary every once in a while, because I just know that there are some good rom-coms hiding in there somewhere. I mean, I found a really good rom-com with Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter, and I also read the do-over as well, and I just really love Lynn Painter. And I also started reading Rachel Lynn Solomon's young adult contemporary as well. So I'm not opposed to reading young adult contemporary, however, I do get nervous about it every once in a while. So I'm just kind of hoping that Talk Santa to Me might just be one of those hidden gems, because I am kind of a little bit scared of reading young adult contemporary, because honestly, I don't know what to expect from a YA rom-com. I don't know whether or not they're gonna handle situations in a mature way, or whether they're gonna be childish about it, or whether I'm just not gonna be able to relate to it. So I'm kind of hoping I will be able to relate to this one in some way. We will see. I just want to also read this one because it's a holiday romance and I just need more of them in my life, and that's why I'm making this video. And the next book I put on my holiday romance TBR is Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane. This is a book by the author of The Charm Offensive, which is one of my favorite romance contemporaries ever. I really love The Charm Offensive so much, and I wanted to read Kiss Her Once for Me this time last year, and I never got to it. I am so devastated that I never got to it. Honestly, I kind of just put getting this book off for some time, to the point that by the time I got this book, it was almost too late, and I put this book off. I initially was gonna read this book last year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to it, but I'm hoping to get to it sometime in November or December of this year because I just want to finally experience it. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about this book based on the reviews for it. I have a work colleague who absolutely adores Kiss Her Once for Me, but I am seeing some reviews out there saying that this book is not that great, and I'm a little bit nervous about this one because I want to trust my friend, I want to trust my colleague, but also I want to go into this book with managed expectations because I loved The Charm Offensive so much. And yes, I do want to read more by this author eventually, so I'm hoping to get to Kiss Her Once for Me sometime, and I honestly hope to get to it by the end of the year, but I really hope I love it just as much as The Charm Offensive. But if I don't, at least I kind of managed my expectations there. The second last book I put on my holiday romance TBR is The Afterlife of Holly Chase by Cynthia Hand. As I'm filming this video, I actually read the first chapter or the prologue of this book, and it gave me the vibes I needed. So we are essentially following someone who is really spoiled. Our protagonist, Holly Chase, started to gain riches over time, and as her life went on, she started to push the people that she hung out with away. She only really started to care about the shallow stuff, like what clothes people wear or what fashion they're into, all that stuff etc. I mean, what I did find with the first chapter slash prologue is that she did have inner empathy, but she was a very tough nut to crack, and she would always insult those who were serving her or those who were looking after her. As I'm reading this book, I can tell that Holly has a tough exterior. This is actually a reimagining of The Christmas Carol. Holly is this book's version of Ebenezer Scrooge, and I have not continued past the prologue where she's experiencing the ghost of her past. I just wanted to fully understand what the story was about before going into the rest of it, and I'm happy that I read the first chapter or couple chapters to experience what the story was about, because it's seriously been a while since this book was recommended on this platform, or on any platform really, because this book came out 6 years ago, and I remember hearing about this book all the time within the first 2 years of it being out, and now the hype has died down because this book came out in 2017. It's currently 2023, and I want to read The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I am so happy I got the hardback of it because it's so pretty, and I really just wanted this for my collection, but I also really wanted to experience the story. And this is very funny because the Christmas Carol story initially scared me while I was younger. I remember every time Ebenezer Scrooge's story went to the future, I would get terrified. I would be so sad for him, even though obviously he was spoiled and he deserved it. I just felt depressed every single time I watched an interpretation of A Christmas Carol. So I know that I am going to experience some sort of unease while reading The Afterlife of Holly Chase. However, because I'm an adult now and because A Christmas Carol does not scare me as much as it used to as a kid, I can really fully appreciate A Christmas Carol for what it is. I'm very much looking forward to reading The Afterlife of Holly Chase. I want to see whether or not it was worth the hype back in the day and whether or not I would recommend it to this day. And last but certainly not least, I just got Wreck the Holes this week as I'm filming this video right now. This is a book by Tessa Bailey, and I'm so happy that this book is much chunkier than Window Shopping. This book's actually 350 pages, whereas Window Shopping is like 250, and I personally think that Window Shopping needed to be a full-length novel because as much as I did enjoy a quick and easy story, there wasn't really much resolution in it, and there wasn't really much romantic chemistry in it. Like, I still enjoyed it, and I appreciate the vibes that it gave off. And yes, I did like the romantic aspects to some degree, but I'm really hoping that I enjoy them more in Wreck the Holes. This right here seems more like a full-length Tessa Bailey novel. This is giving off It Happened One Summer energy right here in the page count, so I'm hoping that the book gives me It Happened One Summer energy, but like, you know, for the reverse season, for winter rather than summer. I'm just very much looking forward to this one. I don't know anything about it, but it's a Tessa Bailey novel, and I really enjoy Tessa Bailey novels. I've read a few this year, and I read a few last year, Tessa Bailey is just a go-to comfort romance author for me, and she's my go-to author for comedic relief and steam. I get both out of a Tessa Bailey novel majority of the time. Just a random side note, I did not actually take the time to appreciate how cute this cover is. I mean, I saw it online before actually purchasing it like in person, but it's much more detailed in person. I think out of all the books on this TBR, this one is definitely one of the most exciting for me. I think this and Holly Jolly Ever After, those two are really exciting because they are from two comfort authors who I've put my trust in. Three comfort authors, what am I saying? Julie Murphy and Sierra Simone, they're a duo. Three comfort authors who I've put my trust in. And then obviously A Court of Sugar and Spice I'm looking forward to for the fantastical aspects. So overall, my holiday romance TBR has some variety and I'm very pleased with it. I can't wait to get to all of these books and let you guys know how I go with them, and I hope they make my holidays even more magical. I don't experience snow here, so I really hope I can vicariously live through some of these characters. So I guess it's gonna be it for this video today, book lovers. If you happen to stay to the end of the video, leave me the Christmas tree emoji. And if you happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet already. Join the amazing community of book lovers. And also, I have social medias. I'm at @GSwizzleBooks on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm also Goodreads. That's www.goodreads.com/gswizzle. And finally, I'm at TikTok. I'm at @GSwizzle on TikTok if you want to follow me there for some bookish content. I love you, book lovers, and I will see you later. Peace.
Thought it I would have fun, I flipped it in a double. Thought it I would have fun, I flipped it in a double.